Hello everyone, welcome to Advanced Knowledge System and a warm welcome to AKS IAS Academy, which is one of the premier institutions in India, and it offers examination coaching for UPSC CSC, State Public Service Commission, SSC Combined Graduate Level and CLAT examinations. And about me, I am Sandeep Bhushan Thumala, and my credentials are I have 10 years of teaching experience for civil services. I take up international relations and internal security and the analysis of the Hindu newspaper. And this session will be certainly useful for you because I would be emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases from the Hindu newspaper. And we will understand the importance of the factual, analytical, and conceptual questions which are useful for the UPSC prelims perspective. And while you imbibe the keywords and the key phrases in your answer writing, your answers for mains 2020 will be precise and concise, and certainly will score higher marks in the mains 2020. And this session will also help you to crack prelims and mains 2021. So do follow the entire session of AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis, and this is the DNA of the Hindu newspaper of today's, that is 7th of January 2021. And before we get into the DNA of the newspaper, we will look at the quote of the day. And the quote of the day says that your mind is a powerful thing. When you fill it with positive thoughts, your life will start to change. So what is important that you need to have in your mind is always the positive thoughts, so that those positive thoughts are the powerful thing, and that powerful thing of your positive thoughts will start changing your entire mindset. So let's have the positive thoughts for a powerful thing to change. And now we'll get into the DNA of the newspaper, that is Hindu newspaper, and the news which says that the Supreme Court has now agreed to examine the constitutional validity of laws. So here the Supreme Court is focusing on the constitutional validity of the laws which have been enacted by few states such as Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand. And these constitutional validity of laws are in regards to criminalize religious conversion. So that is, the laws are in regards to criminalizing the religious conversion, which are through marriage and the mandate prior official clearance before any marriage is taken into consideration, that is the marriage which is into another faith. So here the marriages which are taking up between two different faith or religious is now the Supreme Court has agreed to examine the constitutional validity of laws in regards to the religious conversion, which is via or through marriage. And here the bench, which is led by the Chief Justice of India, Sharath A. Bobde, had also agreed to examine the constitutional validity but did not state the implementation. So the Supreme Court has made it very clear that it will examine, but it is not ready to state the implementation of the laws which have been enacted by the states such as Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand. That the laws are in regards to the prohibition of unlawful conversion of religious ordinance 2020 and the Uttarakhand Freedom of Religious Act 2018. So here the two laws which have been implemented through an ordinance and an act by the Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand, that is the prohibition of unlawful conversion of religious ordinance 2020 and the Uttarakhand Freedom of Religious Act 2018, is not to be stayed by the Supreme Court, but it has agreed to examine the constitutional validity of laws. So here the keyword is the constitutional validity of laws, that is in regards to the prohibition of unlawful conversion of religious ordinance 2020 of Uttar Pradesh and the Uttarakhand Freedom of Religious Act 2018. But the bench has made it very clear that the one who has petitioned in the Supreme Court, it has asked the petitioner to go to the respective state high courts and challenge the constitutional validity of the laws which have been enacted by Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand through the act and through the ordinance. But the Supreme Court has also made it very clear the petitioner has come or approached the Supreme Court as per the Article 32 of the Indian Constitution. So the petitioner has moved the case of implementing of the laws, that is in regards to the constitutional validity of the laws as per Article 32. Here the question for prelims is as per which article the petitioner has moved the Supreme Court to challenge the constitutional validity of the laws enacted or implemented by Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand is Article 32. And the one who is representing the petitioner, he says that the laws enacted by Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand are in violation of fundamental rights of dignity and liberty, and which these fundamental rights of dignity and liberty is enshrined in the Indian Constitution as per Article 21. So the Article 21 is violated is as per the petitioner, and under the laws any person who is marrying into another faith should have a month's prior notice. This is as per the new laws enacted or implemented by the Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand government, that they should have a month's prior notice to the authorities, and later on there would be an inquiry into the marrying a person into another faith, and once the authorities have found guilty of marrying an individual, a person marrying into another faith, so there would be a possibility of 10-year prison sentence, and this offenses is non-bailable. So here the laws makes it very clear that a month's prior notice, inquiry, and if found guilty, 10-year prison sentence, and that is a non-bailable arrest warrant. And now we will look at the cases which have been, the verdict by the Supreme Court in various cases. So we will focus at the Hadia case judgment of the Supreme Court and also the Puttaswamy case of the Supreme Court verdict. So as per the court which has said in the Hadia case judgment, it has said that any matters which are related to dress, of food, or else in regards to the ideas and the ideologies, or in regards to the love and partnership, are certainly within the central aspect of the individual identity. So as per the Hadia case judgment, the Supreme Court has said that all this which are related to the central aspect will be of the individual identity, and it said that neither the state nor the law can dictate the choice of partners, or the state or the law cannot dictate the free ability of every person to decide on any kind of matters of dress, food, ideas, ideologies, love and partnership. So as per the Hadia case judgment, the Supreme Court has made it very clear that all this is the choice of a partners, and any kind of limit on the free ability of every person to decide is definitely not, the state or the law cannot dictate it. And as per the case Puttaswamy case, that is, it is also called as the privacy judgment, the Supreme Court, that is the constitutional bench, has said that it has given an autonomy of an individual, and it has said that autonomy of the individual is that it was the ability to make, the individual has the ability to make any decisions which are vital in regards to the matters concerned to their particular life. So it has made it very clear that any matter which is concerning to their individual life depends upon the ability to make a decision, and it is the autonomy of the individual as per the KS Puttaswamy case judgment. And the court has also said in the KS Puttaswamy case that any interference by the state in an adult's right to love and marry had or will have a chilling effect on the freedom of the individual to have their choice of partners. So here the adult right to love and marry, the state cannot have any kind of interference. If it does, then it will have a chilling effect. That was the judgment by the Supreme Court in the KS Puttaswamy case. And it is also made it very clear that any kind of intimacy of marriage, it lies within the core zone of privacy. So the intimacies of marriage is the zone of privacy. So definitely choice of partners, adults right to love and marry is the core zone of privacy as per KS Puttaswamy case. And the court has said that the absolute right of an individual is to select or to choose a life partner, and it is not in the least affected by any kind of matters which are pertaining to faith or any religion. So faith and religion cannot be an hurdle to a individual to choose a life partner. So definitely absolute right of an individual has to the individual to choose any life partner. And the court has also now looked or would wish to look into the next hearing after 4 weeks. So we have focused on the constitutional validity of the laws which have been enacted by the Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand. So here the keywords are the Prohibition of Unlawful Conversion of Religious Ordinance 2020 and Uttarakhand Freedom of Religious Act 2018, and which is Article 32, Article 21, and it is the Hadia case judgment and KS Puttaswamy case. So we have focused or we have analyzed the constitutional validity of the ordinance of the Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand Act, wherein it would be a kind of hurdle to the choice of partners as mentioned or as per the verdict of the Hadia case judgment and KS Puttaswamy case. And now we will get into the another news, wherein the Delhi High Court has asked the center and the UPSC to explain how or the method of selecting candidates for the UPSC mains examination and for the interview, wherein what kind of methods are they using, that is the center and the UPSC, in regards to the declaring of actual number of vacancies, and these vacancies which have been questioned by the Delhi High Court is in regards to the disabled category. So here the keyword is the disabled category reservation, and how the Delhi High Court is questioning the center and the UPSC to explain the method of selecting candidates, especially focusing on the disabled category. And the court has also directed the center and the UPSC to explain why there is a difference of 8 vacancies, number 8 vacancies for disabled in the notification which has been advertised, and the calculation which has been made by an NGO called as Sambhavana. And this NGO Sambhavana is a registered society for of the disabled for the disabled. So this NGO has petitioned or challenged the UPSC in regards to the reservations made for the disabled category, and now the court is asking the UPSC to explain how there was a difference of 8 vacancies in regards to the selecting candidates for the mains and the interview for the disabled category, and this has been challenged by the NGO called as Sambhavana. And the bench of the Chief Justice D.N. Patel and Justice Jyoti Singh have remarked that when there are vacancies which are fluctuating, so how can the UPSC decide how many people will be called for the mains and interview? So there is certainly a remark made, and there is an direction by the Delhi High Court towards UPS in the center that when there is a fluctuating in the vacancies, then how can or how many people will be called for the mains and interview by the UPSC? And it has questioned the UPSC in regards to the how many people will be called for the mains and interview when there is the vacancies are fluctuating. But the court has declined to put a stay on the mains examination of UPSC. That is, the mains examination is scheduled between January 8th and 17th. That is tomorrow. Today is January 7th. So January 8th and 17th you have the mains 2020. So the Delhi High Court has definitely asked an explanation for the center and UPSC in regards to the number of the reserved cases or the vacancies for the disabled people, but declined to put a stay or to hold a stay for the mains examination, which is scheduled on or between January 8th and 17th. So Sambhavana has gone ahead with pleading or petitioned, and it has claimed that UPSC has reserved only 24 vacancies for the persons with disabilities out of 796, and the NGO, that is Sambhavana, makes it very clear that the reservation for the persons with disabilities is 4%. But when we calculate the 796 of 4% of 796, it should be 32, but the UPSC has reserved only 24 vacancies in 2019 for the persons with disabilities. And now the question or the challenge by the NGO Sambhavana is that these 24 vacancies was below the 4% mandatory reservation, which is as per section 34 of the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016. So this is the keyword under which act the Sambhavana NGO has petitioned or challenged the UPSC in regards to reserving the candidates for the persons with disabilities in the mains and the interview is as per the section 34 of Persons of Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016. And there is another petitioner or the NGO which is called as Evara Foundation. It is also challenged the UPSC in regards to the seats reserved for visually impaired, for deaf and hard of hearing, and the one who has locomotor disabilities were not in accordance with the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016. So it is the Sambhavana NGO, along with that it was Evara Foundation, which has challenged the reservation or UPSC reservation for persons with disabilities, which has the mandatory of 4% reservation under section 34 of Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016. So here the keyword is the act, and the NGOs which has filed that out of 796 in 2019, 4% amounts to 32, but UPSC has reserved only 24. So that was challenged by the NGOs, and the Delhi High Court has asked the center, and it has directed the center and UPSC to explain why there is difference of 8 vacancies for disabled people when it should be 32, but rather it is only 24. So here this is again very crucial for as per the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016. And there is another news which talks about autonomous state. So a group of Bharatiya Janata Party lawmakers and including a Lok Sabha member has submitted a memorandum to the center, and through the memorandum the group and the Lok Sabha member is seeking the implementation of Article 244A. Why is this Article 244A? This Article 244A is for the creation of autonomous state within Assam state. So this is very crucial for polity perspective. That is Article 244A is for the creation of autonomous state within Assam. And this has been, a memorandum has been submitted to the center for the seeking for the implementation of Article 244A, and Article 244A prescribes the formation of an autonomous state which comprises certain tribal areas of Assam, and for creation of local legislature or council of ministers. It is not only for the creation of autonomous state, but it wanted for the creation of local legislature or a kind of mechanism for the council of ministers to be created as per article 244A, which prescribes the formation of an autonomous state. And this, the demand for the formation of an or autonomous state within Assam has been the demand across three hill districts, that is Karbi Anglong, West Karbi Anglong, and then Dima Hasao. And this demand for the autonomous state within Assam is since 1980, and now these three hill districts, that is Karbi Anglong and then West Karbi Anglong and Dima Hasao, are directly or governed by two autonomous councils. But rather than being governed currently by two autonomous council, there is a demand for the creation of autonomous state. So here the keyword is autonomous state as per article 244A, for the creation of local legislation or a council of ministers in the three hill districts, that is Karbi Anglong, West Karbi Anglong, and then Dima Hasao. So this is as per the UPSC polity and also geography map based question also in regards to the hill districts, which are geographically very important for UPSC perspective. So this is from polity and also geography based. And there is another one which is Anubhava Mantapa. So Anubhava Mantapa, the Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yedurappa has laid the foundation stone for the new Anubhava Mantapa. And this was often referred as the first parliament of world. This was often referred as the first parliament of the world. And this new Anubhava Mantapa, which has been laid foundation by Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yedurappa, is in Basava Kalyan in Karnataka. And this Basava Kalyan is the place of the 12th century poet, philosopher named as Basaveshwara. And this Basaveshwara poet and philosopher lived almost his life in Basava Kalyan. And therefore, now the new Anubhava Mantapa foundation stone has been laid, and it is of 500 crore project, and there is a possibility that it would be completed within 2 years in an area of 7.5 acre area. And the building will adopt, that is the new Anubhava Mantapa will have a Kalyana Chalukya style of architecture. So this style of architecture which we are talking is crucial or important for prelims UPSC, that Anubhava Mantapa will have or will adopt Kalyana Chalukya style of architecture. And this project will highlight the teachings of Basaveshwara, who is the icon of Veerashaiva Lingayat community. So again here for the prelims, Basaveshwara is an icon of Veerashaiva and Lingayat community. And this project was first proposed back in 2016, and there was a committee which was set up for this project, and this committee was led by Channa Basappa, and this committee was set up to draw a plan for the setting up or for building the Kalyana, this new Basaveshwara Kalyanam, that is in regards to the new Anubhava Mantapa. And this building will adopt, as we discussed, the Kalyana Chalukya style of architecture. So here we have in regards to the history and culture for UPSC prelims perspective, this has been taken into consideration that there would be a possibility of prelims from history and culture. And there is a committee to look into the Ladakh issues. So there are issues in Ladakh, the newly created Union Territory Ladakh. So we will look at what are the issues by the locals, wherein there is a representation by the locals in regards to the various issues, and these issues have been raised in front of or with the Union Home Ministry. And the issues are in regards to the geographical condition and strategic importance of Ladakh, the people or the representatives have expressed their concern in regards to or in with respect to the language, culture and land of Ladakh, and the participation of people in the development. And the third one is the protection of employment and the changes in demography of Ladakh region. So the issues are in regards to the language, culture, land, development, employment and demography. So these are the issues, and keeping in view the difficult geographical condition and strategic importance of Ladakh, the people of Ladakh, that is the representatives, have expressed the concern, and they have also gone ahead with a protest before the LAHDC, that is Ladakh Autonomous Hill Development Council elections. So as there was a protest in regards to the issues of Ladakh, which is of difficult geographical condition and which has a strategic importance, has been brought before the Home Minister, and Home Minister Mr. Amit Shah has said that the government or the center is committed for the developing and conserving the land and culture which was raised as the issue by the representatives. And the committee, he has made it very clear that there would be a committee which would be set up under the Minister of State for Home, that is G. Kishan Reddy, and this committee would be constituted to find an appropriate solution to the issues which have been raised by the people of Ladakh in regards to the language, culture and conservation of land of the Union Territory of Ladakh. And the committee, which would be constituted under the Minister of State for Home, will comprise members of the representatives or the delegation of the Union Territory of Ladakh and the elected members from Ladakh. Along with that, you will have the committee will comprise of the members of LAHDC, that is members of Ladakh Autonomous Development Council, and the ex officio members representing the Government of India and Ladakh administration. So here the setting up of the committee is important for prelims perspective, that is UPSC prelims perspective, that this committee would look into the issues related to the language, culture and conservation of land, along with that the employment and the changes in the demography. So this is also a crucial information in regards to the internal issues for the developing of the Ladakh Union Territory. And now we will recapitulate the DNA, and we have looked at the constitutional validity of the laws. So this is in regards to the polity we have focused, and this is also in regards to reservation, that is reservation pertaining to Persons with Disabilities Act 2016. And this is again from polity perspective, that is autonomous state which is been sought as per Article 244A, and Anubhava Mantapa, which the building has been, the foundation stone has been laid, is as per history and culture. We are focused or analyzed from prelims perspective of UPSC, and a committee which has been set up to look into the land issue, and then in regards to the culture, language and also the employment and demography of Ladakh Union Territory. So this is in regards to the current affairs we have focused. So I hope this session was informative, knowledgeable one, and also it would be very, very crucial from mains as well as prelims perspective. So I would say a very big thank you to all and a good luck to you all. May peace, health and happiness be with you in every walk of your life. And then I would emphasize that make sure that you are in consistency with your preparation, stick to your schedule, and then take care of your physical health and mental health. And do not forget to like the video, share the video and subscribe the AKS IAS English medium YouTube channel, and also have access to the website and also sign in to Telegram link of AKS, that is Advanced Knowledge System. And then see you again tomorrow with the daily news analysis of AKS IAS Academy. And then thank you very much.